Hey, everybody, it's me, Queenie. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today, we are going to slay your tech monster and move out of paralysis into power and prosperity. Who am I? I'm Queenie Brown, also known as the Tech Goddess, and I'm in the business of building empires. I'm excited that you're joining me today because we are going to get into something really powerful. This is a 3-day challenge, and this is for people who have businesses, who are coaches or healers or ministers, people who have a message or a mission and really want to reach the masses and get out to the world. However, I've identified some areas where we're being prevented from really getting our message out there. And the biggest issue that we're all having is technology. And so I decided to create this challenge so that I could help you build the foundation and understanding for your technology, so that you realize also that your tech should not be the hurdle. It should only be the tool that helps you to get from where you are to where you're trying to be. Tech is a tool, y'all. It's not supposed to keep us from getting the mission accomplished, okay? So we're going to get started. Let me just, before I do, I'll give folks a few minutes to join. And let me just double check and see if I can see me online, because I can't see and I didn't even bring my glasses. Oh yes, I did. Let me grab them. I can't respond to the comments and see the comments on the phone there, so I'll put them up on my computer here. All right, so I am excited today. Let me tell you where this was born. Over the years, I've had quite a few friends and clients tell me that they really had a big vision, or they had some mission that they really wanted to accomplish. And when they sit down at the computer to start to work on that vision, they start to get heart palpitations, their hands start to sweat, their stomach starts to hurt. Some of them have had panic attacks. I've had ladies tell me they've cried at the computer because they just couldn't seem to figure out what the heck they need to do next. Or there's all these different pieces and they can't figure out which goes where and how they connect, and whether or not if they touch one, it's going to break the other. And it's just been a lot of pain and anguish around it. And so I started to ask the question to some folks online, and I just said, what does technology, how does it make you feel? And the responses to me broke my heart, just to be completely honest. It broke my heart and it pierced my spirit, because I thought about the fact that there are so many of us who are the answer for so many. We've been given gifts, we've been given resources, we've been anointed as healers. And for whatever reason, we aren't able to get our message out there. And the primary reason has been technology. So when I started to hear the responses to my question, it made me think, what can I do? How can I support and really just create an understanding? Because obviously, sometimes all you need is a little understanding. Sometimes all you need is someone to hold your hand and walk you through the process, answering your questions as you go along. And that helps to build on the foundation and builds your confidence and helps you to really be able to stand more boldly in your calling, right? So that's what this challenge is all about. It's a 3-day challenge, and I don't want to overwhelm you. So that's why it's only 3 days. But I do want to give you a very thorough understanding of a lot of the tools that are out there now, how they're designed to support you, and what you can do going forward to really position your business and your mission in a way where you can grow and make that money, right? Because we cannot let technology be the barrier or the hurdle between you and your cash. Cash is what's going to propel you into the masses. It's going to make it where you can put out those Facebook ads, put out those YouTube ads, and be able to really be seen. And you can't do that if you are struggling with tech. So that's where we're going. Excuse me. So I'm going to explain my tech journey in just a second. But as I do, for those of you who are joining, go ahead in the comments. And even if you're watching the replay, it's fine. I'll be popping in just to check on your feedback. But in the comments, I want you to list for me your greatest tech challenge. What do I mean by that? Imagine you have a line of dominoes, and all these dominoes are all the challenges that you have in your business. what is the one big technology domino that if you knock that one down, a whole lot of stuff will fall through? Oh, hey, I see someone can't get in the group. Hold on a second. Let me pop over and make sure that everybody's in. So think about that question, and let me, hang on. Let's see. Apologies for the delay. I'm coming, Pamela. Let's see. Members. I don't see it, darling. My apologies again, y'all. So what I want you to do, the question is, there you are. The question is, what is your, hey Pamela, can you see me now? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm sorry for the delay, darling. Okay, so I see that you're there now, and anyone else that pops in, I will add you because I'll see you on the screen. Okay, sorry about that. So the question was, hey Pamela, welcome. The question was, if you had a whole line of dominoes, all of these are your tech challenges that you have in your business. What's the one big domino that if we knock that one over, the whole line will fall? What's the biggest challenge that you're facing that we can start to tackle? And what I want to do is get a list of all of the challenges together. And that way, when as I progress through these next 3 days, I want to make sure that I cover all of your challenges. Okay. So as you write that in the comments, I'm going to tell you my tech story. So I'm a 70s baby. I was actually born in 1970. And my first introduction to computers was with my stepfather, who worked at a electronic data systems corporation. And so I remember him taking me to his job, and we walked into this room, and it was a large room with this humongous computer in it. And in the room, the computer was loud and it was cold. And he had this box or tray full of these cards, and they were punch cards. And what he would do is take these cards and put them into the machine. And it was this, like I said, room-sized computer, freezing cold and extremely loud. And as he would put them into the computer, he was basically telling the computer whatever, he was programming the computer in whatever way it needed to be programmed. Hi, darling, I see you there. Welcome. And so we would just sit there and put those cards into the computer. This was, I might have been 7, 8 years old. And then I remember in the 4th grade, I was at elementary school, and they put me into a class, and they taught us basic computer language. I remember the computer box, and it had a black screen on it and a blinking cursor, and that was it. Y'all remember? Maybe you don't remember back that far. This is before there was an internet, before there was email, before there was personal computers. People didn't have computers in their home back in those days. and so I learned how to program in BASIC way back then. Now, I remember seeing my name, learning how to make my name scroll across the screen. And so that was the first spark for me. And then I progressed on, and many of you know my story. I started modeling and doing all that other stuff. But computers were always in the back of my mind. And at one point I moved in, after I graduated high school, I moved in with my sister and her husband, and he worked in technology and still does, actually, in Silicon Valley now. They're really doing well. But anyway, so he taught me how to understand the file management systems. He introduced me to the Windows environment and the Mac environment, so I was able to see the differences between the two. And he introduced me to desktop publishing. And what that was is how to make flyers and brochures and make things pretty online. And so at the time, because I was modeling, I started doing the programs for all of the fashion shows that I was doing back in the day. So I remember when I was I had gone into, I was working, I left college, was working, and I decided, I got laid off and decided to move to Georgia and go to school. And my mother forbade me from buying a computer. And I went and bought one anyway. And I remember hiding it in her house, and I separated all the pieces so she wouldn't know what was what. She saw the keyboard one day, and I lied to her. I said, "Oh no, that's a newfangled word processor. Yeah, that's what that is." And of course she was like, "Oh, okay." So long story short, I moved to Georgia, and when I got here, I went and bought one of those big thick books. On the top of it said "Using Microsoft Word," and it might have been 600 or 700 pages. And I opened the book and I started at the beginning and I went page by page. I went through every exercise so that I can learn and master Microsoft Word. Then I went and bought using Microsoft Excel, then using Microsoft PowerPoint, then using Access. And that was how I learned. And then, of course, back then, most businesses were still on paper. So I had the good fortune of being able to go into a company and help them integrate or migrate over to computers, and then I would teach them how to use it. And that became my job. And I even ended up working for IBM doing the same thing and created a control book for their whole Southeast region for a period of years. So it became my job to go into an organization, convert their users from paper to electronic, and then train the entire organization. And so I did that for quite some time until I became what we now term a business analyst. Now, a business analyst is someone who goes into an organization, they identify what's working with the technology, what's not working. Of the things that aren't working, what would you need it to do? What are the requirements? Do you need, what does it need to do in order for you to be able to do your job more efficiently and effectively? And so I would identify those requirements, and then I would create a solution for them, identify what the constraints need to be, and then design a solution. Now, because back in high school or in elementary, I learned a program. Actually, in college, I also studied computer science, so I learned a bunch of different programming languages. But I also learned that I don't want to be a programmer. I can do it, but it's one of those types of careers where you literally have to plug in and shut out the whole world. And it's a very solitary, isolating type of job. So I didn't necessarily want to be disconnected from the world in that way. So I decided to just lean more towards business. Now, what that afforded me the opportunity to do was to be able to understand how to talk the talk of tech. So as I would design these solutions for companies, I would be able to create a document that would communicate to the technology team or the programmers, this is what this client needs this program to do. And so they would code it, and I would test it and configure it and make sure that it does everything the client needs and deliver it and then train the client. So that was what I did as a business analyst, and that spanned for well over 20 years. And I've done it in all different sectors. I've done it in ministry, I've done it in the public sector, even in government. So then I got sick, very sick, and my body started to shut down. So I scaled back in that arena and started to research internet marketing, and then I went into just the whole world of making money online, and that's what brought me to you. So there's a whole lot more to that story, but I'm just trying to keep it brief today just for the sake of time. But I do want you to realize that my roots with technology run deep, and so when I do things online, it becomes old hat for me. It's not working. No sound. Anyone else? Oh no. Okay, let's see here. No sound. Let me see. Approve. Sorry about that, people. Let me just double check for me. Okay. Okay, I'm able to hear. Sorry about that, Pamela. I'm able to hear okay. So sorry, darling. Okay, yeah. All right, well, we're going to continue, and maybe you'll be able to catch the replay, babe. So, so the question was, and I guess you can't hear the question, what is your biggest tech challenge? What is your biggest tech domino that if you knock that down, all of the problems that you've been having will be solved? I need to know what that is. So anyway, that's my tech story. That's how I got into technology, and I progressed and have trained companies up to 300 in a company, and in a ministry over 500, including faculty and staff, just me. So, and I've trained all different ranges, people who had absolutely no experience at all, like I said, that were literally still using paper, all the way to tech folks that are comfortable in the technology environment. So I have a wide range of experience, and I want to bring that all to the table to support you. That's why I'm the tech goddess, y'all. Okay, so question for you. What is your most valuable asset in your business? What do you think the most valuable asset is in your business? Go ahead and leave it in the comments. And while you're writing that, I also want to know, and you can put this in later, do you currently have a domain? The reason why I need to ask you a few of these questions is because I want to gauge where we are so that I meet your needs going forward in this challenge. I want to make sure that you're able to keep up and that I'm able to meet you where you are, where your understanding is, okay? So let me see. I know that there's a lot of different tools out there that people have been trying to identify the correct tool to use. I know some people are wondering, should I use ClickFunnels? Should I use Kartra? Should I use Kajabi? Should I use Infusionsoft? Should I use Lead Pages? What's the difference between all of them? I'm going to go into that in just a second, but I did want to just make sure you enter into the comments what's your biggest domino, and do you currently have a domain with a website on it? And if you do, go ahead and enter your domain name so we can take a look. All right. So what is the difference between all of these tools? And, you know, I realize that people have been challenged with, you know, having to look up the different tools. It takes time to figure them out. Then you do a trial, and then you figure out it's not for you. Then you figure out what do I do next? And who has time to go through all of that, right? And money. You end up spending more money and wasting time so that you're not making the money you could be making. Well, let me just talk about a website, first of all. Many of us feel like the first thing we need to do is go out and build a website. And while in the past that would have been true, today that may not necessarily be the thing you want to do. Websites are not necessarily obsolete, but depending on the goals of your organization, you might want to make the website be maybe the second or third thing you build. Here's why. Websites for years have just been your home online, right? It's just your billboard that you stake your claim. This is who I am and where I am. And it's usually just like a magazine, really. It's just who you are, what you do, how to contact you, maybe some of your work, some of the testimonies of the people who you've worked with. But people want to make money online, and a website over the years has been proven that it doesn't necessarily convert to money. You've got to create this whole system and put a system in place, or have a huge following and have a method in order to be able to generate money with a website. So along came the concept of a funnel. And what a funnel is let's just say you go into McDonald's and you order a cheeseburger. And McDonald's doesn't make any money on that cheeseburger. They barely make a few pennies, literally. But the second that they offer you that fry with the burger, and then the Coke with the burger, and then the apple pie with the burger, and anything else you order, that's when they make their money. And so what a funnel will do is a funnel will take you down the path of allowing you to draw your clients into your store and introduce them to your burger, and then your fry, and then your drink, and then your apple pie, etc., etc., etc. And so that's kind of the new idea of introducing people to you and your offering. And the reason why that's important is because you're building a relationship throughout the entire process. A funnel will take each person through the exact same process. They will introduce them to you, your story, your mission, and your movement, whatever that is. And over a period of time, every piece of you is kind of fed to them, and based on their interactions with you, you're able to segment them and put them in the right place. So what does that mean? Let's say before I started working with businesses in this way with technology, I was helping women get pregnant, because I have a story about how I had 2 babies supernaturally. And so I built a website called supernaturalchildbirth.com, and you can go there now. I'm not actively promoting it because I'm doing this, but very, very soon I'll be dabbling back and forth, because that's a heart calling for me. But anyway, I have to, when someone enters that funnel, I have to identify, are they pregnant now? Or do they just want to be pregnant? And if they are pregnant now, how far along are they pregnant? And if they're pregnant now, I have a different set of messages that I need to give to them compared to the people who are not pregnant. I have a separate set of messages that I want to offer them. And so then I've got products that I'll offer to the women who are pregnant. And then I've got a separate set of products that I'll offer to the women who are trying to be pregnant. You see what I'm saying? So a funnel allows you to differentiate between your market segments and feed them where they are. But the most beautiful thing about all of it is that you can set it and forget it. You create it once. And once you create it, it's done. You don't have to revisit it again. And every person from now until eternity, as long as the internet is the internet, they will go through that process. And the beautiful thing is, if you've got products along the way, specifically electronic products like meditations or ebooks or video trainings, that once you've done it, it's set up, then you can consistently make money from now until eternity passively. Can I get an amen? So a website does not necessarily afford you that. Now, if you build all that into it, it will, which is what happened back in the day with Infusionsoft. Infusionsoft was one of the first companies to integrate all of the well, not all of the systems, but they were one of the first companies to allow you to do that market segmentation and allow you to separate your messages. There are companies called autoresponder or business. Let me say this again. There are tools called autoresponders which will allow you to deliver your messages in sequence that way, and that's important. But Infusionsoft and other companies like them kind of integrated all of those tools together to make it a lot easier. The only problem with Infusionsoft is that we in the industry call them Confusionsoft. Confusionsoft, because you literally need to be a pro at that tool in order to maneuver within it, because it does the job, but it is not a simple, intuitive process. So then you have tools like Lead Pages. Well, they create great opt-in pages, and it's sort of the beginning parts of that whole process, but I'll just say that it's an early adopter. The Lead Pages and Infusionsoft were very early on, and they do a lot of great things, but the industry has shifted, and there are bigger tools out there that incorporate a whole lot more. So then we have Kajabi. People ask about Kajabi. What is it? Kajabi is a teaching platform. It allows you, if you've got a course, to really be able to enroll people, charge them for the course, and manage the delivery of the course. You can deliver video, you can deliver audio. They do a really good job of housing your videos. If you have like lots and lots and lots of videos that you want to be able to distribute via your courses, Kajabi is a great place to do that. However, Kajabi is not a great marketing engine, not in the least bit. So I would highly recommend, if you're using Kajabi, that you need to have something else to help you sell it, because it does not do the best job of helping you look good online to help you sell your product. There's other tools out there that do it better. So then that leads me to the top two tools that are out right now, and those are ClickFunnels and Kartra. Both of them do a phenomenal job of building out your funnels. I've watched the two guys who created Kartra are Andy Jenkins and oh goodness, his name escapes me. Oh, I can see his face. His name will come to me. Anyway, I've watched them, Mike Filsaime. I've watched them through the years. Sorry about that, people. My phone's ringing. I've watched them through the years, and they know their stuff, and they know how to build a funnel. They know how to build a business online, and including video marketing, etc. And they're really, really good. That's a great tool. But I lean towards ClickFunnels because ClickFunnels was the first tool to integrate everything and to make it all work and to make it seamless and to really build it out so that you really look good online and you can sell and make money. And ClickFunnels they have a whole movement around the tool, and they've really invested in you learning it and really being able to leverage all of its resources to really make it big in your business and really make a mark. So there's a movement behind ClickFunnels and a teaching engine behind it that really can support anyone who wants to make a real mark in their business. So I lean towards ClickFunnels also because it's 2 years older. It's only 4 years old, but they've made over 100 millionaires so far. Kartra is not as old, but they're just as good. Just doesn't have the backing yet, and I'm sure they'll grow to be. They're a good tool. So again, I lean towards ClickFunnels, and at the end of this, I'm going to give you a link so that, or actually, I'll put it in the comments so that you can get a free trial for ClickFunnels, and you'll be able to see how it's used. And we're going to go through it. I'll give you a tour of it tomorrow, and you can see how the tool can support you, how you can match your business to it, and how it's designed to really support you to go further. So I'm excited about that. All right, so we talked about a funnel versus a website. Websites are, I wouldn't say obsolete, but I would say that anyone who has a website needs to convert it into a funnel format so that it can meet your needs and start to generate leads and generate money, okay? Let me see. Are there any questions so far? I know I had someone say they couldn't hear me. Can you hear me now better, darling? Any questions? Okay. All right, so let's see. What was the next thing I wanted to talk about? Automation. The beautiful thing about building a business online these days is the fact that you can automate. And it's important to do that because that's how you really manage everything. One of my challenges early on was, how in the world will I manage the reactions of people as I start to deliver my work and share my messages and so forth? And the answer is automation. It's automation. And that means every person who comes into your life or into your business has the same opportunity to have the same experience with you, but you only have to create it once. And we talked about that a little bit ago, but I want to go a little bit further because it's important that you realize that building a business online is really about building a relationship. And so in order to do that, the first time someone meets you online, you need to introduce yourself. You need to explain to them who you are and why you're doing what you're doing. And you need to give them an understanding of how you meet their needs and how you understand why they have the needs that they do. And it's a conversation, but it's not something you want to just dump all on them at once, right? Because who wants to be dumped on like that? So instead, you want to give them bite-sized chunks, a little bit at a time. You want to draw them down the path and give them enough to want more and want more and want more. And there are strategies involved in doing that. And so, and the great thing is there are tools that are designed to support those strategies. So that's the first part about automation. And then that's email. And then there are tools that automate the sales process. So let's say, you create your opt-in page, which your opt-in page, or also called the landing page, is the door to your business. That's a way you can look at it. It's the door. You welcome them in, you ask for their email, you give them something as a gift in exchange. That gift can be a PDF, which is basically a document with information in it. It can be an audio something. It can be a meditation. It can be anything that they would find valuable. A top 10 tips of how you can do X, Y, and Z. It doesn't have to be deep. Hey there, welcome. I see someone joining us. Your opt-in doesn't have to be deep. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be extensive. It just has to be something they would want to have and that they'd be willing to exchange their email address for. So imagine they're walking into your door. You're handing them they're handing you their email. You're giving them the gift that you promised, and then you invite them on in. And as you invite them in, you're introducing them to who you are and a little bit of your story and why you're here to help and so forth and so on. And so just kind of keep that in mind as you start to think about what an opt-in is and what a landing page is. It's the first impression that they'll get of you. And tomorrow I will share with you a couple of opt-in pages that I've created. and you'll get an idea to see, there's different ways to do it, and there's all kinds of things you can offer. People will take a video, if, whatever they're willing to accept that as value, give it to them. Give it to them. Okay, so that is the first step in your automation, and then you continue to build that. And then there's also the idea that you can offer them a product. And let's say you offer them a video, and then they purchase it, and then while you've got their credit card number, you automatically offer them something more. Hey, Georgina, I'm so glad you're here. Welcome. You can offer them something more. Let's say you offer them a training video and they paid for it, and then you can say, here's a meditation to support it for another $20. And then here's another book for another $20. And then if you don't want the book, here's something else that you might want. You can upsell them and downsell them until the cows come home. And people will take whatever it is you have to offer that they want and that meets their needs. And that's the beauty of having a funnel. That's the beauty of being able to say, you don't want this, well, maybe you want this. And if you like this, then maybe you'll like this. So you've got to kind of start to think about your business from the perspective of, who is my client, what do they need, and how can I serve them and meet that need? And whatever I'm offering, it needs to help support and build on the last. Got it? Does that make sense? So thanks for joining me, Georgina. I know you missed the big question. The question was, what is your big domino? What is the one thing in your business technology-wise that you can knock down and it will change the game for the whole rest of your business? What is that one thing? Enter that in the comments for me. All right, Pamela, I didn't see your comment on that as well. Please do include that. All right, so that's another way to automate. Another way to automate, which is phenomenal now, is using messenger bots. That's where someone responds to you in a messenger text, and after they do, you're able to send them messages directly to them, and they're going to open them. Usually, people may or may not see the emails that you send to them, and that's okay. But you want to make sure that you have the email list. We need to talk about that too. But the messenger bot pops right up inside of Messenger. So that is a phenomenal tool, and it really does help. Where's the chat? In the comments, darling. In the comments. You just wrote in the chat, sweetie. He's so cute. Okay, so I asked a question earlier, what is the most valuable asset in your business? And I wanted to know what you all thought. And I know most of you weren't on the call then. So leave a note, what's the most valuable asset in your business? And I'm going to tell you while we talk about it. Many people think it's your following. Many people think it's your social media following. Many people think it's the group that you have on Facebook or your Instagram followers. What do you think? Are any of those the most valuable asset in your business? That's a trick question, because the answer is no. None of those are the most valuable asset in your business. The most valuable asset in your business is your email list. Even though most people don't open their emails, even though you may not have the conversion rate that you want when people do, what you have to offer? No, Georgina, that's not the most valuable asset. No. So the most valuable asset is your email list. And here's why. Let's say you're on Facebook and you built this group, and it's a very interactive group, and everyone is commenting, and it's growing and growing and growing, and you have now 100,000 people inside of Facebook in your group. And somehow Facebook decides to get slick and shuts down your account. What do? Where's your asset? It's not yours. Anything that you build on a platform belongs to that platform. Your Instagram followers, you could be having all kinds of followers. Let Instagram get upset with you because of a rule that they've created that you didn't know about, and they shut you down. Your people will never know how to find you again. You're gone. Same with YouTube. You're gone. So as a business, you have to recognize how important it is to learn to extract those people from social media into your own container. That way, if you have their email addresses, it doesn't matter who shuts you down. You can always send them another email, excuse me, or excuse me, or a sequence of emails to reconnect and rebuild that relationship wherever you end up landing. Does that make sense? Yeah. So no, it's not. It has nothing to do with what you have to offer. It is the list itself. It is your customer base. And if you don't have a system in place to extract those people, then you need to focus on that before anything else. Your products are important, but if you don't have anyone to sell them to, they don't mean anything. Got it? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So make sure that that's the very first thing. And that's what we talked about earlier, building that opt-in, creating a container to take in the people that love you and like you and are interested in what it is you have to offer. So we're going to work on that tomorrow. We're going to work on giving you an understanding. I'm going to give you some tools so that you can see what I've done along the lines of building my opt-in pages, and then give you some guidance on how to do it. Tomorrow we're going to actually go into the computer. I'm going to do it inside of Zoom. I'll give you a link tomorrow so that you can actually see some of the work that I've done. We can have a conversation back and forth if you're interested in chatting with me. But you'll be able to kind of go behind the scenes. I'll give you a tour of ClickFunnels, and we'll be able to really go a little bit deeper so that you can see what's available to you. And then I'm going to give you a link in just a moment to ClickFunnels trial so that you can try it out, see how it can work for you. And tomorrow we'll be able to go into it and really make some changes. Okay. So as we move through this, though, I know that there is a lot of anxiety around it, and that some of you are challenged with all of that. And so I want you to be mindful that I'm mindful of it. So let me know if some emotions come up, if you start to feel a certain way about anything that we work on, if you feel like I'm going too fast, if I'm jumping around too much, because sometimes I lose my train of thought, and that's, I'm growing, y'all. It's a process for all of us. But I just want to make sure that I meet your need, and that you know that I'm here where that's concerned, because the bottom line is this: you have a vision, you have a mission and a calling, and there are people waiting for what it is you have to offer. There are people praying at night, praying throughout the day, asking for answers that you hold. And the only thing that's standing between them and you with the answers is the technology. And if there's emotions that are coming up for you, let's heal them. Let's heal them. Because you've been called to do this, you've been equipped to do this, you are prepared to do this, and the technology is just a step, and I'm here to hold your hand. I'm offering you my hand so that we can take this next step together. You don't have to do this alone. It doesn't have to be this trying ordeal. Technology is designed to help it to be easier for you, and to help make it more efficient and more effective, and to save you time and to save you money while helping you to build your money, right? So I'm excited about where we're headed, and again, we're not going to allow anyone else to have to miss out on your gifts because of a doggone computer. Not on my watch. Not on my watch. Okay, so let's see. Did we enter the biggest domino? I don't think we have any big dominoes in here, so I can't respond if you guys don't give me feedback. So do you have a domain right now? If you have a domain, let me know. And if you have a website on that domain, let me know. And if that website is giving you the response and the conversion that you want, let me know. What is conversion? Well, conversion is the number of people that, let's say you have 100 people that see your website. Of those 100 people that see your website, how many of them are taking some action? How many of them are getting on a list? How many of them are buying a product? How many of them are asking a question? You want to have some interaction on your website, and you want to have some progress. You want people to either join your list or buy something, right? So what is your conversion rate? Of the 100 people that show up, how many are getting onto your mailing list? If you get 10, then that's a 10% conversion rate. If you get 2 out of the 100 people that show up, that's a 2% conversion rate. Does that make sense? So these numbers are going to be important going forward, because right now, no, I don't have a domain. Okay, perfect. I'm glad you mentioned that. These numbers are going to be important going forward, because that's the way you measure your business. As you start to build and you start to see, if I put an opt-in page up, the people that are seeing it, of the people that are seeing it, I'm getting 30% of the people getting on my list, then that makes a difference. Then you know that you're doing pretty well. The average in the industry is between 6 and 10%. Hey, Carly, good to see you, love. Um, the the average in the industry is between 6 and 10%. If you're getting a 10% conversion rate, you are boss. That is amazing. If you're doing better than that, with some of my opt-ins, I've had opt-ins that went from between 30 and 40% conversion rate. So woo woo, that's pretty darn good. And the goal is to get your conversion rates up so that you can spend less money in ads. The less money, or the more money you spend in ads, the more people come to your site, right? The more people that come to your site, the more people have a chance to opt in. If you have a higher conversion rate, which means if out of the 100 people that come to my site, if I can get 30 people to get on my list, as opposed to 10 people to get on my list, then that's 30 people that are going to see my offer, right? That's how it works. And the great thing is, once you get this thing moving, then you realize that all you have to do is put a little bit more money here to generate a little bit more money there. And that's why I call a funnel your online ATM. It literally is an ATM. You put money in, you get a whole lot more money out. And I want to help you build the system so that you can do that. Okay, so do we have our big domino in there yet? No big dominoes. All right, so I see that some of you do not have a domain. Let's talk about what a domain is. A domain is your home online. It's like the house that you build, that you live in, that you invite your friends over to online. And so you can build it out the way you want it to be. Again, I don't recommend you starting with a website. You don't need a website anymore. You need it, but not first. You need to build out a funnel. That needs to be the first place you start, and create the system where you're drawing the people into your home, introducing them to you, welcoming them in, offering them a gift, and then selling them something. generate some income so that you can start investing in ads, so that then you can build out your bigger vision. So when you talk about your home online, you need to think about what you want to call it. And I highly recommend for anyone who is a service provider, like a coach, a healer, a minister, anyone doing that, you need to brand your business as your name. If you don't own yourname.com, you need to go get it immediately. You just do. And if you need to do your name, first name, middle initial, last name.com, do that. Try to get a .com if you can. I know that it's not that easy these days, but it leans towards more credibility in the industry. Yes, you can have a .org. Yes, you can have other .name and all those, but try to get a .com. It just lends to more credibility online. And I say use your name because you are your brand. And there's a lot of different things that you do as a brand that you've done throughout your entire life. And if you pigeonhole yourself into one particular business model, then you're limited. For instance, myself, I could lean in and only have supernaturalchildbirth.com as my business, but I'm more than that. I could lean and have the Self-Love Lessons, which is a book I wrote. That could be the business, but I'm bigger than that. I could be the tech goddess and have nothing but the tech goddess on the website, but I'm bigger than that. And who wants to manage 3 different sites? Nobody. I certainly don't. So instead, I'm creating and I'm rebranding myself so you guys get to watch me do that. Oh no, I have 5%, y'all, on my phone. Okay, so I'm rebranding myself, and right now you'll see QueenieBrown.com, and I will have all of the different outshoots of my business there. That's my home. When I introduce you to me, I'm gonna be able to introduce you or walk you into my home and say, here's the living room. This is supernaturalchildbirth.com. Here's the guest room. This is the Self-Love Lessons. Here's this room. Here's that room. I can introduce all of me to the people that come to me, and I'm not limited. So get your .com and make sure that you do it with your name. Of course, if you want to do it under a different name, that's fine. You just will be managing 2 different homes online, just FYI. All right, so I'm going to have to go because we've already gotten almost to an hour anyway, but thanks, Georgina. So tomorrow, I want you to join me again. Try to come on time so that we can get started. If you do not have a domain, get one. I'll put a link in the description so that you can get, you can either go with GoDaddy or HostGator or anyone you choose, but I can help you with both of those because I've got, I work with both of those right now. I'll also include links to a freebie link for a trial of ClickFunnels. And here's something else that I want you to do. And I'll give you a link for these as well. These are 2 books that are going to change the game for you. This is called .com Secrets, and this is called Expert Secrets. These 2 books I'm going to offer them to you for free. You can just pay shipping for them, but they will change the game. They're going to explain to you why all these pieces matter and how they all work together. And it's going to help you to build out that sequence of emails that you need to write. It's going to help you to understand how your funnel needs to be laid out and what you can include in it. It's going to make it super, super, super simple and plain. And you can order these books. Since I got them, I've plowed through them. I've got notes and all kinds of, you need these books to help you map out your business, especially these days. And the great thing is these books map directly to ClickFunnels. And I'm going to be giving you a tour tomorrow, as I said before, of ClickFunnels, and you're going to see how it can help you build your business. It's the best tool out there for it, and I'm excited to introduce it to you. All right, so homework for tonight. Get your domain. If you haven't, secure a domain name. Pick it out. Make sure you write down your password. Write down the host that you're using, meaning if you're going to go with GoDaddy, you need to make sure that you have your login and password, and then make sure you have their support number listed there as well. Get the trial of the 2 books, and join me tomorrow at 9, and we're going in. If you have any questions at all, make sure you leave them in the comments. I will discuss them tomorrow. Don't forget to include your big domino, and whether or not you have a website, a domain, what kind. And I think that's it, ladies. Let me see. Oh, and if you have a social media tribe, let me know how large your tribes are, because we want to make sure that you are getting the best out of the market that you have out there, okay? All right, woohoo, that's right, Georgina. I'm right there with you, darling. I'm excited. I'm excited. If you have any other questions or comments, please leave them in the comments, and I'm going to go before my phone shuts me off. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm the Tech Goddess, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Bye.